From the Home Slice News Center, this is the Daily Slice for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. I'm D. Ray Knight, and this is what's going on. Here is the latest on the war in Ukraine. Russian forces have attacked along a broad front in eastern Ukraine as part of a full-scale ground offensive to take control of the country's eastern industrial heartland. Ukrainian officials say Russian forces are focusing in this new phase of the war on taking full control of the Donbas. Moscow-backed separatists have been fighting Ukrainian forces for 8 years in the mostly Russian-speaking region. The stepped-up assaults in eastern Ukraine began along a front of more than 300 miles. The Russian military also has continued to blockade and shell the strategic port city of Mariupol and fire missiles at other cities. A commander in Mariupol says Russia dropped bunker-buster bombs on a steel plant where a regiment was holding out. In news closer to home, the chief federal prosecutor in South Dakota is calling it quits. U.S. Attorney General Dennis Holmes announced his retirement on Monday. Holmes spent more than 43 years as a prosecutor. The Custer native began his career in 1978 as an intern in the Pennington County State's Attorney's Office while he was still in law school at the University of South Dakota. He went on to serve as an assistant state attorney general, rising to become chief deputy attorney general. He joined the U.S. Attorney's Office in Pierre in 1988. Attorney General Merrick Garland appointed him in December as U.S. Attorney after U.S. Attorney Ron Parsons resigned. A new survey has examined how South Dakotans use their federal stimulus money. Amy Rose explains.
A majority of South Dakotans used federal stimulus money to pay their bills. That's according to a survey by Hire a Helper. They say in South Dakota, nearly 58% of adults reported using stimulus payments to cover living expenses. Over 16% reported using it for debt payoff, and nearly 13% added the money to savings. The households most likely to use their stimulus payments for living expenses were racial and ethnic minorities and low-income earners.
Average gasoline prices in South Dakota have risen 1.2 cents per gallon in the last week, averaging $3.80 a gallon today, according to Gas Buddy's survey of 628 stations in the state. Prices in South Dakota are 9.6 cents per gallon lower than a month ago, but are 98.3 cents per gallon higher than a year ago. According to Gas Buddy, the cheapest station in South Dakota was priced at $3.19 a gallon yesterday, while the most expensive was $4.44 a gallon, a difference of $1.25 a gallon. In national news, a federal judge's decision to strike down a national mask mandate was met with cheers on some airplanes, but also concern about whether it's really time to end the order sparked by the COVID-19 pandemic. The major airlines and many of the busiest airports rushed to drop their requirements on Monday after a Florida judge struck down the CDC mandate and the Transportation Security Administration announced it wouldn't enforce its 2021 security directive. Passengers on a Delta overseas flight cheered and applauded, but some airports, including those in Los Angeles and Salt Lake City, recommended that people mask up voluntarily. The number of migrants trying to cross the U.S.-Mexico border is surging. Amy Rose has more.
The number of migrants attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border has surged in recent weeks as the U.S. prepares for an even larger number with the expected lifting of a pandemic-era order that turned away asylum seekers. Immigration authorities stopped migrants 221,303 times along the southwest border in March, a 34% increase from the month earlier and the highest in nearly 2 decades. U.S. Customs and Border Protection filed the data with a federal court in Texas. The CBP was expected to publicly release the monthly statistics soon before the looming expiration of a public health order that enabled U.S. authorities to turn back most migrants, including people seeking asylum.
Twitter has put a major roadblock in front of Elon Musk's effort to take over the company, leaving investors to wonder about the Tesla CEO's next move. Twitter has adopted a poison pill defense that makes it difficult for Musk or any other investor to buy Twitter without the board of directors' approval. Musk, who currently owns about 9% of the company, last week disclosed an offer of about $43 billion or $54.20 per share. Twitter's next likely move is to formally reject Musk's offer, or it could start negotiation. Musk has a number of options, which also includes talks with the board, sweetening his offer, or even triggering the poison pill, which could destroy the company. Your weather forecast from the Home Slice Weather Center. Mostly sunny early and then cloudy and windy with a high of 75. Low tonight, 40. And that was your Daily Slice for Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. The Daily Slice is a production of Home Slice Media Group, hosted by D. Ray Knight with Amy Rose and Chrissy Davies. Executive producer Mark Houston. Engineered by Chris Jacquez. I'm D. Ray Knight. Have a great day.